it's Bonnie at Discover Sewing in Duluth, Georgia. We have the opportunity every day to have customers come in and tell us about their sewing journey. So I thought, hey, we need to share this with the world. And then when the Barbie movie came out, a lot of people talked about all their Barbie clothes. Today is our Barbie day. I didn't have anything pink. Katie's with me and she's pink, so I'll be here with Katie.
Hi.
Katie works for us and she can tell you a little bit about herself, and we're going to talk about her sewing journey. Katie, tell us how long you have been sewing and what got you started sewing.
Well, I've been sewing since I was 10 years old. At that time, we were living overseas, but we were back in the U.S. on vacation, and I got my first Barbie doll.
Oh.
But when we went back home, there was no place to buy any clothes. But my mother had a Singer sewing machine. We could get fabric and we could get advanced pattern. And that company made pattern for Barbie dolls.
Now, what country were you in then?
We were in Saudi Arabia. My father was a chemical engineer. And
Did they love Barbies there?
well, very conservative back then. They would not have appreciated the Barbies, which is probably why we couldn't get any clothes.
Yeah.
That started me learning to sew because I wanted more clothes for my Barbie doll.
Nice.
And about 15 years ago on a vintage pattern website, I found copies of the original patterns that I had used as a 10-year-old.
Oh, so you don't have your original Barbies or your original
No.
patterns. Of course, our parents got rid of all of our toys
Yes.
when we left home.
But
Oh,
these
good.
are copies, well used,
Wow.
of what I use to learn to sew. The Advanced Patterns put these out to teach people to sew for dolls, but also sew for themselves. These patterns, I haven't used them. They are, you can see,
Somebody
slightly
loved
tattered,
these,
but
yes.
someone loved them, and I loved mine. I learned to sew. From there, as you said, my Barbie dolls disappeared.
Okay,
But
I can't wait
over
to see
the
what we have
years,
here.
Mattel put out the reproduction Barbies.
Now that looks like my first Barbie.
Yes.
Well, first, I only had one
Right.
Barbie in my whole
Mhm.
life. My mom did have someone crochet a little wedding dress. I
Oh,
don't
how
have the
cute.
doll, but I've
Yeah,
got the
uh-huh,
wedding dress,
yes,
and that's it.
Yes, this is one of
Cute
the
as that.
first ones that I picked up. There was also this one, which was one of the classic Barbie dolls that came out. Then my second Barbie doll was the Bubblehead Barbie doll with,
Look at that.
yeah. Then this one has become kind of iconic with the Barbie movie, the silhouette with this black dress. The gal who did Barbie as the actress wear a dress like this at one of the events recently for it.
What year did Barbie come out that everybody started?
Either 1959, 1960. The face on these Barbies was quite different from what Barbie evolved.
Mm-hmm.
And Barbie evolved into a little bit more childlike look, a little bit happier, a little bit softer look than the originals. Then I started in my teens sewing for myself.
Did you get another sewing machine in your teens, or
What I ended up getting was a featherweight. That was my first personal machine.
do you still have that?
No, I don't. Unfortunately, I upgraded to a Golden Touch and Sew Singer. I had that one until 1978, and Pearson came out with the Stretch and Sew.
Right.
I was taking stretch and sew classes with a FOF dealer, and that's when I bought my FOF 1222E, which I do
Okay.
still have
Okay.
because it has its wonderful built-in walking foot.
There you go.
I went from there to that machine. In 1996, Aleene's crafting show had as one of their guests a lady who was a representative for Janome. And Janome had come out with one of the first home sewing and embroidery machine, the Memory Craft 8000.
Right.
Which I got, but unfortunately 6 months later they came out with one where you could actually write to the cards, and at that point the dealer I'd gotten it from wasn't giving any kind of trade-in, so I found Bonnie
Okay.
in 97 and got my designer Viking #1 Plus, which I still have.
Yeah. Well, all of our employees pretty much over the years have been customers before
Yes.
they worked for
Mhm.
us. And we're still here together.
Yes, yes, and that progressed from there. I was doing sewing. When I got into working and traveling a lot, I couldn't sew much, but I really got into the embroidery. I love doing all the
Yeah.
embroidery and doing embroidered quilt blocks, which I put together. And in my Quilt As You Go class, I bring those in to show people what they look like. From there, I had a friend who, you know her, Diane Burtis. She got me into the Chattahoochee Evening Star quilting group. That's how I got into quilting.
You've had a wonderful journey and
Yes.
you get to share with everybody. I think we're going to do a lot more of these interviews with customers and employees so we can share the joy of sewing. Thanks for joining us today.
Bye.